Oops. Can't nothing be easy, huh? So I really screwed up, man. Real fart smell of a move there. I don't know. Whatever. I'm a big cross your fingers kind of guy. This thing's making me look like a sissy now. Things are just not looking good right now. Does not seem happy. Idiots. Don't. Maybe just don't. That does not sound good at all. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Just a noob and I don't know what's going on. Oh. Hello, YouTube friends. Today we're back in the garage. We're working on the 1978 Ford F100. If you don't remember this thing, or if this is your first time tuning in, this is my girlfriend's F100. We ran through it. We installed a Holley Sniper EFI, a new fuel tank, new coil, got it all back on the road. It was running pretty good, but once it gets up to operating temperature, for some reason, which we haven't yet determined, it shuts off and it won't start up again until it completely cools back off. Nothing. So in previous video, we installed a Motorcraft ignition control module, and we're thinking that this hot no start issue is ignition related. It's getting plenty of fuel pump primes, got plenty of fuel pressure, the Holley's doing its thing, and some of you guys commented in the last video to kind of start taking a look at ignition related stuff. So I ordered this pickup coil, which goes down inside the distributor. So yeah, here's the pickup coil. I read some kind of horror stories on Google. Never heard of DTS before. I was going to get a Motorcraft brand one, but the wait time was quite a while and the price was a little higher. So I got this one on Amazon for like 20 bucks, and I watched a few YouTube videos. So I think I'll be able to maybe figure this out, get this thing swapped into the distributor. Hopefully we can get this thing back on the road and running. I'd like to drive it just a little bit farther than just a few miles before it shuts down and dies on me. I'd really like to drive it to the gas station and fill it up and potentially burn some of the rubber off of those rear tires there. But first, we got to get this pickup coil tossed in. So follow along and let's get it done. So we're going to be pulling this distributor cap off here and getting down inside there to the pickup coil. From what I've seen online, this looks like it could be a little tricky. This truck's not too terribly corroded, so things might come apart pretty easy. So let's see what we got on our hands here. I'm going to pop this air cleaner off first, get it out of the way. I don't know if you can see there, but the distributor cap comes off pretty easy. It's just got these little tabs here and over here. You just pop those. The cap comes right off. Take this connection off the coil. Lay all this back here out of the way. And if you can see down in there, there's the pickup coil down in here. Pop this rubber button off. There's the old pickup coil. I guess what the theory is that this thing gets some heat poured into it and it opens up the gap inside there, and it no longer, you know, makes sparks and stuff. Looks like we need to pull this little thing off, and then there's like a snap ring that's holding this whole unit in here, and there's like a roll pin keeping this thing in place. So yeah, hopefully this thing isn't too much of a pain. All right, I've also popped this little cover off the bottom here so we can get a little easier access to this. So what I've seen is that you wedge some pry bars underneath this little gear deal here, slide it up and off that little shaft there. I'm gonna hit this with a little PB blaster, hopefully knock out some of that corrosion there and make this thing slide off a little easier. That ought to do it. So I forgot to mention, you should probably mark this little thing here so you put it back on in the same way that it came off. It looks like it's already got a little yellow mark here, and it looks like it lines up pretty good with this large opening here. I think that's reference enough for me. I've already kind of started prying on this thing and it wiggled a little bit. Let's see if she pops off here soon. Once I figured out the right angle on this thing, it really started to move pretty easy. Yeah, look at that, it's popping right off. Voila. Get that right there. So somewhere on here there's like a snap ring. I think I can see it there. Pop that off, pull all this wiring and stuff out of here, and then it should come right up and out of here. I think you might have to take the vacuum advance off too, maybe, I don't know. There's a little Phillips head screw holding half of this piece down here. Pop that thing out. Now this wiring should come up and out pretty easy now. And there's that. Get this thing unplugged here. Oops. Yeah, good thing we're replacing that because I just broke that clip. Alright, now we're unplugged. Get that out of the way. Now we just got to see about getting this snap ring off of here, and I really don't see how that comes off. Let me take a look at the new one. So here's the new one. It looks like the snap ring is like right in here in the top section above this. I got a pick here. Let's see if we can get that thing popped out of there. I'm looking for the break in it. I think I found it right there. Oh yeah. Dang, that came out easy. Nice. Look at that. I'm going to get a magnetic tray and put all these little parts in. I don't want to lose this stuff. Now this thing should wiggle on out of here, I hope. This vacuum advance definitely needs to come up and off of there as well. That little tiny thing, don't drop that. Come on, buddy. And there it is, came right off of there. It really wasn't that bad. All right, comparing these two here, they look pretty identical to me. I really hope this fixes it. This thing doesn't look to be in too bad a shape, but there could be something going on in here that we don't know about, or in here. This one's definitely cleaner. let's get this new one in here and rock and roll. I'm gonna give this a good wipe down in here. Clean all this crud and stuff out of here. So there was a roll pin, and I didn't find that. That is supposed to hold that gear in there. I really hope I didn't lose that, because I definitely don't see it. It's no longer in here. So that ain't good. I'm gonna have to do some digging, see if I can't find this thing. Oops. All right, I pulled the vacuum advance out of there. You know, slipped it out of there, set it over here. I'm gonna pull this little thing out. I'm hoping that little roll pin fell in this hole and down in here. But at first glance, looks like I might not be so lucky there. I just don't want something rolling around in here, you know? I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I don't know what I'm looking at here, other than just that it's a distributor. Man, hopefully I can find this little roll pin. Can't nothing be easy, huh? All right, I'll report back if I find it. All right, so I've looked everywhere, shoved magnets all over the place, looked on the ground. I think that roll pin has disappeared into thin air. So I think I'm gonna have to make a run to Harbor Freight. I think they have like a little roll pin kit. I'm really hoping that it didn't go down inside the distributor, but from what I can tell, I don't think it's down in there. You know, it would have had to have landed perfectly in this little hole right here. I'm just not sure that that happened. So it's probably in this general vicinity somewhere. We may never know. So let's go see if we can find a replacement one. The little kits they sell at Harbor Freight. Dang, sick of clips. R.I.P. Paul Walker. All right, here we are at the sacred Harbor Freight. All right, here we are. We'll just go with the 120 piece. I think that'll do it. All right, roll pins acquired. Hopefully one of these fits. Looks like the smallest is a 16th by 3/16, so hopefully that does the trick. All right, so I'm real paranoid that that little roll pin fell down in here somewhere. So I'm gonna blast it with a little compressed air. Make sure there's some debris coming out of there. Looks pretty good to me. I'm looking at this roll pin kit here. It's looking like I guess this is a 3/32. Looking at the little legend here. I think this should do the trick. It looks like it fits in the groove pretty good. So that's what we're gonna run with. All right, so we're gonna start putting this back together now. Like that goes about like so. I'm gonna toss a screw in here, put the vacuum advance back together, get this thing buttoned back up, and hopefully we can fire it up, get it up to operating temperature. Cross your fingers, y'all, this fixes it. We'll see. I feel like I should maybe grease this a little bit. Some grease. How to do it. Put this bad boy back on here. Snap ring. All right, well, I guess it's in there. It's not sliding up and out. Let's go ahead and stick this vacuum advance back in here. Pop this tiny little C-clip on here. I don't know how I lost that roll pin, but somehow managed to not lose this tiny little thing. Better not speak too soon, though. Wow, dude. This doesn't even look like it fits on there. Jeez. It's on there. I have no clue if it's going to stay or not. Great. Let me see if I can close this thing up a little bit. Pinch this thing closed a little bit, so hopefully it'll have made it a little tighter. Wow, this little thing does not inspire confidence. Put this little Johnny back on here. Here's our roll pin. Get this little wheel lined up. Drop our roll pin in there. Really hope this little thing works. It's pretty difficult, especially when you're shaky like me. So I really screwed up, man. I was using a hammer and a socket. That might have been pretty ignorant, I don't know. But I was putting it over this, you know, putting the socket on here like so, using it to kind of tap that thing down. Somehow in doing so, I chipped a little ear off this little thing here. You can kind of see here. I know that can't be good, but we're in this deep. So I don't know, whatever. We're just gonna put this thing back together and see if it won't run. That might have been a pretty big screw up there. I don't know if I can get a new stator wheel or whatever that thing is, but I'm gonna plug this thing in, hook it all back up, fire this truck up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hope you're enjoying this. This has got to be at least entertaining somewhat. Real fart smell of a move there. All right, we're moving along here. If nothing else, our little roll pins seem to have worked okay. So don't forget to plug this thing in, ideally without breaking it. Yeah, yeah. Jeez, man, maybe I should have just waited on the Motorcraft one, but I don't know if the Motorcraft would have made a difference if I break stuff. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's throw this cap on here. See how poorly this runs. We might get lucky. You never know. I'm a big cross your fingers kind of guy. And there we have it. Let's toss this air cleaner back on. All right, here we go. We got everything back together. Some pieces were there before and they're not there now, but let's see if this thing runs. Does not seem happy. Let's try this again. Let this Holly do its thing. She's definitely not happy. Ain't never gonna work. Oh yeah, we got a heavy misfire. That does not sound good at all. Either that pickup coil's bad, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe if you were a conspiracy theorist, you might think that that little thing I broke causes this, but I don't know. So yeah, that might be it for today. Unless I can somehow track down a replacement distributor, or... Dang it, dude. Can't believe I screwed that up. Idiot. Well, I don't know. That might be it for this video. Just wanted to update you guys and show you how stellar of a mechanic that I am. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss right now. I was really hoping this thing would... Well, I was kind of betting on me not breaking stuff. If there's anything that you could take from this video is don't break stuff. When you think it's a smart idea to put a socket over that little wheel thing to hammer it on there with the Harbor Freight roll pin that you had to get because you lost the factory roll pin, just don't. Maybe just don't, though. I don't know. Let's try to fire it one more time just to see how crappy it really is. I'm gonna leave you guys out here so you can kind of watch what it looks like from out here. Kind of weird. Maybe I just needed you guys out here to look at it while I started it. That exhaust leak pretty bad over here. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Jeez. Can't exactly tell if it's running really poorly because of the exhaust leak or the thing that I broke. I need to put a timing light on this thing, I think, see what's going on. But I mean, it runs. It just sounds awful. I mean, listen to that exhaust leak. That thing is not good. Yeah, we might have to order a new manifold gasket and repair that. All right, so I hooked up the timing light. I doubt you can see anything, but I don't even know where the timing marks are at. That exhaust leak is so loud. But there's some little divots on the crank, and it looks like they're staying in the same place every time the crank rolls around, the timing light hits it. I don't know. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell what's going on with that obnoxious exhaust leak. That's gotten progressively worse. It looks like we might have a leaky valve cover gasket. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of smoke burning out of there. This is kind of wet right there. All right, I'm gonna kill it now. The AFRs halfway look decent. So either it's kind of okay, or the Holly is just that good at keeping the lambda correct. Let's give her some. Ooh, that sounds terrible. All right, shut it off, idiot. All right, we're gonna revisit this later. Things are just not looking good right now. All right, we're back in the garage feeling refreshed. It's a brand new day. We headed over to O'Reilly's and they had some parts in stock that could help us out in our little predicament we found ourselves in. We got a Felpro exhaust manifold gasket and this standard armature. I kept calling it a stator, but this is a reluctor wheel or an armature. So we got a replacement one. We got some gaskets here to get this exhaust leak all squared away. I'm gonna throw these parts at this truck. I don't know, see if we can't get it acting a little bit better today. All right, I've got this old armature out, comparing it to this new one here, and they look to be pretty identical here. If anything, this new one's ever so slightly smaller. My hands aren't calibrated, so I can't really verify that or not. I could put a mic on this thing, but I don't know. We're just gonna run it. I'm thinking that little piece I nicked off there definitely wasn't helping our cause, so hopefully this new guy will get us rocking and rolling. All right, I've got this new armature tossed in here. It's looking pretty good. I did the hammer and socket method this time again. Figured out how to roll the dice, and it seemed like it worked out okay this time. So, I don't know, hopefully that gap there between the armature and the pickup coil is appropriate. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be, or how I could even adjust that, even if I did know what it was supposed to be. But we're gonna put this thing all back together, and then we're gonna toss this exhaust manifold gasket on here, and hopefully she won't be leaking, and the ignition will be doing its thing correctly, and this thing will be running right. So stand by, and I'll let you know here soon. All right, we're trucking along here getting this exhaust manifold off. Most of these bolts have come out pretty easily, so I'm hoping this thing comes apart pretty good. Yeah. As I'm saying that, this one's tight. Whew. Let's try a different one here. This thing's making me look like a sissy now. There we go. Well, that one came out pretty easy. This one on the top looking like it's pretty tricky. So I tried to get where the manifold meets the exhaust to come out, but that one right there does not want to come off. So I'm hoping that I can pry the manifold away from the head enough to get the new gasket in there. The other side doesn't seem to be leaking as bad as this, but I'm gonna go ahead and change both of them. This thing still has the entire factory exhaust, this massive catalytic converter. Eventually I want to put headers and stuff on this thing and whole new exhaust to make it sound a little better, but in the meantime we're just gonna make what we have work. So from what I can tell, it looks like this gasket is completely gone. I don't know if you can see in here or not, but there's like nothing in here at all. So it might be pretty easy to change this thing out. It feels like there wasn't a gasket on here, period. Kind of hard to believe that the whole thing blew out like that, but I don't know. Let's get this new one tossed in. Maybe it'll be better. All right, I've got this new exhaust manifold gasket on the passenger side. Let me show you here. You can see a little of it sticking out there. Hopefully that seals this thing up and we'll be good to go. All right, so I've disconnected this driver's side exhaust manifold and I'm looking at it and I don't see a gasket in there at all. Now this side wasn't really leaking too bad, but maybe some of you guys know better than I do. Did these just not have exhaust manifold gaskets? I mean, Felpro obviously makes a replacement, so I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and toss one in on this driver's side. Hopefully it seals it all up. When I was taking the passenger side manifold off, a few of the bolts were pretty loose. So maybe some of those backed out and it was allowing a leak, but I find it kind of weird that there's no gasket at all. I don't know. Comment below, tell me if that's normal or if I'm just a noob and I don't know what's going on. All right, got these exhaust manifolds on here. Driver's side, passenger side. Pickup coil's all in there with the new armature. I'm not feeling too confident in this pickup coil. I don't really think it did the job. I might be returning this and doing what I should have done in the first place and just gotten a Motorcraft one. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up, see what it sounds like now that the exhaust is all sealed up. This thing won't even run now. Battery might be dead. Voltage is a little low. Let's put the jump pack on this thing. All right, jump pack is on. Voltage is already a little better. Well, that's weird. Maybe this thing is causing the issue. Because I turned the key off and this thing kept on cranking. So maybe the starter solenoid was the problem the whole time. This one has been replaced. I mean, obviously a long time ago, but maybe, just maybe, that could be the problem. I still don't think that pickup coil is worth anything. I might swap in the old one if this starter solenoid does end up being the issue. Oh man, that was kind of scary. Turn the key off, this thing keeps on cranking. Smacked that thing and it finally made it stop. Let's try to fire it up one more time just for giggles. Let's hope it doesn't take off like that again. There we go. Yeah, everything's got a heavy miss. But it sounds like the exhaust leak has been fixed. It's idling now. Much better. No more exhaust leak. Seems like it's idling kind of smooth. Uh-oh. Missing pretty hard. Yikes. I'm gonna kill this thing. All right, so I stuck this old pickup coil back in here. I've already got it all buttoned up. Let's fire this thing up, see if it made a difference. Definitely seems to be better. I don't know for sure. Still seems like it's kind of running a little funky. I'll let you be the judge here. It seems like it might be misfiring just a little bit. I don't know what that could be related to, but it's definitely running better than it did with the old coil. So I guess that kind of answers that for us at least. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna get a actual Motorcraft pickup coil on order and a good quality starter solenoid. So keep an eye out in the future. We'll post another video. Hopefully we can get this thing running here soon. That's the nature of these older cars. You gotta do a little bit of work to reap some reward. And I don't mind a little sweat equity. As you can tell, I'm a little sweaty. It's hot out here in Texas. But yeah, if you like what you see, and you're enjoying this, watching me struggle to get this thing running, hit that like button, subscribe. I'm gonna keep on sharing my journey with this truck. If you have any tips or tricks, or you wanna make fun of me, comment below. You guys have already helped me a little bit. I've read a few of your comments that you've left, and it's got me going down this trail of trying to figure out the ignition stuff. That's it for this one. See you next time.